Hi, welcome back to ShelterTails. This is Connie Galley, and our goal here is to promote adoptions and promote awareness of different animal issues. And with me today, I have MaryAnn Mosky of Diamonds in the Scruff, and she's got an interesting concept for a job. So welcome, MaryAnn.
Thank you.
You're self-employed, and you have a mobile grooming unit that I myself have used, so I can recommend you.
Thank you.
I had a very skittish cat with that needed soft paws on because he's a kitten, for a shelter kitten, and didn't know not to scratch my furniture. Mm-hmm. And after initial struggle with him, you got him in the van, and he was a perfect gentleman, letting you put his little soft paws on, wasn't he?
He had his little mani-pedi.
Yes, and he was like, that's not bad. And we didn't stress him out. He went back in the house and played again.
Right.
So there is an effective use of a mobile grooming unit when you cannot get that cat or dog in the house cornered. You know, you bring them out, they're in a confined area, plus they kind of calm down. They're kind of curious and they calm down. So what I'm curious about is how you started, mobile grooming unit.
Well, for 16 years I was in a shop. I owned a shop in Suffield, and a lot of people kept talking about this mobile unit type thing that they had been working on. I went to several conferences over the years, usually 2 or 3 a year actually, and started meeting more mobile groomers, and they kept telling me about the benefits of it. And finally I decided, I think that's for me. I think I need to go out and I need to try that because it's just so beneficial for the pets.
Not to be stressed. I mean, I know to get mine to the vets, it's like I need surgery by the time I get them there, or Valium or Xanax or whatever, as well as they do. So it's like it's a much more comforting situation when you're in their driveway, as close to their house as possible. You're not schlepping them back and forth. So making that decision, how do you retrofit? You have a van because I've been in it. So how do you retrofit that? How do you retrofit that for the different types of animals that you deal with?
Well, I purchased a van that was already set up. There's a company called Wagon Tails that makes mobile grooming vans.
Oh, okay.
They've been doing it for 20 years.
Oh, really?
And they have it set up. They have it down to a science where they have it set up that it's similar to a camper situation where you have 2 50-gallon water tanks, one for fresh water and one for the dirty water. Every dog or cat gets washed in fresh water, and then I take the dirty water home with me and dump it in my yard so that you don't have it dumped in yours. I have a generator so that I power all my own equipment. I have a heater, a furnace actually. So in the wintertime,
You have it in the van?
I have a furnace in the
That's
van.
a lot stuck in that van.
It is. I have, because in the wintertime I'm wearing my short sleeves. This is what I wear to groom, and I want the animals to be comfortable. That's the main purpose, and what I have is for the animals to be comfortable at their home, looking out the window, seeing their house, knowing that they're not going anywhere. And I have a great air conditioner at this time of the year that I use for the June, July, August months, and the generator runs that. And I also have all the equipment like clippers, etc. So this company does it.
So the company's had time to.
They've perfected it.
And I didn't even know that was out there. I mean, you're only the second person. One was a traveling vet, and you're the only second person. Because I do have, as I was telling you, I adopt abandoned cats. I adopt shelter animals, and cats are high strung anyway. We talked about dogs. Maybe they're more pack animals, but I don't think. I mean, I saw my brother's dog drag furniture with him when he knew he had to go to the vets. Put his arms around a chair in the house, and my brother was on the leash with the chair and the dog and the whole bit. So they're a little more high strung. So it was very beneficial for me not to have to get that little guy in a carrier and out. But I did see your arms at one point when you were doing holy crow, woman, there's some scars. So tell me about what the most difficult thing is to do when you get not an upset cat or dog, but just one who really doesn't want to be there.
I have to say, the shop atmosphere was a lot more difficult than it is in the grooming van.
Now, why would that be?
I think it's the one-on-one. It's calmer. It's quieter. I have aromatherapy going in there, which you probably didn't
I didn't
get
even
to know
notice
that.
It. I didn't. My cat probably did. He was real good. He was real good with Manny-Petty.
It's a calming kind of a spot, more atmosphere. They get talked to one-on-one. They're not put into a cage. I don't have to fight for them to get out of a cage, which is where a lot of this comes from. It's all tailored to that particular animal at that particular time. I don't have 7 or 8 animals that I'm trying to juggle. One's in the tub, one's doing this, one's doing that.
before you or when you take a call from somebody that says, I'm having a hard time with my pet, or I need grooming or whatever, do you go through some kind of checklist saying, well, is he calm, or does he have this need, or does he have that need, or does he have allergies, or do you have to go through some kind of checklist with the owner before you go and
absolutely
and visit that dog?
Yep, absolutely. First of all, I find out if they're in my area.
Right.
If not, I'd refer them to a mobile groomer that is in their area.
Okay.
I do find out how big they are, because there are certain limitations in the van. A Great Dane really does not work out too well.
Or a Saint Bernard,
Yeah, in a
Be a
van.
little close.
But I do have some great shops that I can refer them to.
Okay.
I do have a lot of places that I can send them to. I've got that knowledge over the years. And I ask them if they have any skin irritation, skin problems, if they were referred by a vet, because a lot of times the vet will refer an animal to me because of behavior issues or that type of thing, and I can call the vet, because I have a good rapport with most of the vets in the area, where I can call and kind of get some background from that end of things. And just why they're calling me too. Sometimes they just want to pamper their dog. They want their dog one-on-one. They want their dog back right away. A lot of my elderly clients don't want their dog away from them.
Right. And not only that, it's very difficult for them if they're housebound, especially to get
that too.
To get somewhere, or a lot of them give up their cars, or they're afraid of driving at a certain time, and you have to go by the groomer's schedule.
Yeah. And also, I have single parent, stay-at-home moms that don't want to drag their kids out with the dog in the car, because that's a little crazy with the dog crawling in the car seat with the child.
Right.
And totally lost my thought
No,
on the
so
last one.
Do people call you?
Sometimes people are not home too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they're not home. I have a lot of keys to people's houses. I have garage codes. The neighbor lets me in. 50% of my clients are not home when I go there to do their dog.
That's interesting.
I just go and I take the pet. They all know me. They meet me at the door.
I was going to say, once you have that rapport, is there somebody, they meet you at the door?
I have liver treats in one pocket and cheese in the other, and I have Pounce in the van for the cats. So
catnip.
Yep,
Catnip
that's
works
it.
on mine. Mine will do anything for catnip.
There you
little
go.
druggies, the little druggies. So that's interesting. About how many clients do you try to maintain, or how many clients do you have to juggle in any one month?
Well, I do 7 or 8 animals a day, and most of my clients are on a 4 to 8 week schedule.
Okay, like a hairdresser.
Exactly.
Like a
They all
hairdresser.
rebook.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the thing about mobile, is that you get on a schedule and you rebook. It's not just a call me at your whim, because my schedule is so full that that's how I take people in, is to get them on that schedule with me. That
Which is a very good idea. Then you know where you have to be and what you have to do. Now, when you came to visit me, and that was a call that you made, I was so happy with you. I just called you, and you.
Well, you were so sweet. How could I say no?
Oh, well, thank you. But it was like this little boy. I am not turning him back in. And I'm not going to declaw. I don't believe in declawing, but yeah, he thinks everything's a scratching post. And you came right over. I mean, you were there no time flat. So, and I'm losing my train of thought. It's an age thing.
Yes, it is.
but you have all these clients that you're booking. You do take some new clients in, obviously.
Sure.
What are cats or dogs? And I know the answer, I think, to this. Are cats or dogs harder to work with?
Actually, the cats that I work with, people would think cats, but the cats that I work with, I do work with on a regular schedule.
Okay, so they're familiar with you.
So they are familiar with me. I'm familiar with their ins and outs too, of what they like, what they don't like.
Okay.
The ones that don't like the nails, we'll try to get that over with quicker. We'll do one paw at a time. We'll work around their little quirks.
Okay.
But then there are the dogs too that I brought out of the shop that were really not so nice in the shop, that are better now in the van because they get their one-on-one. So it's again, there are little quirks too that I'll work around.
Okay.
So you never know.
What is the most difficult? Because I saw how you calm my guy down. I mean, you were in my house. MaryAnn was in my house. I finally managed to catch a little bugger and close all the slider doors in one part of the room, sit on my lap, and he went nuts. And then I said, MaryAnn, I'm sorry, you might, I'll pay you for this visit. You have to come back another day. And she said, no, let's get him in the van.
Yep.
So when we got him in the van, she put him on a leash. He didn't know what was going on, but he sat very calmly. So what is the most, not client, but the most difficult animal you've dealt with? Or the most difficult calls, I want to say, not animals or clients.
Most difficult calls. There are certain breeds that are a little more difficult than others.
And what would one of those be? Like a more high strung, you're saying?
There are some more high strung, yeah. little dogs like Jack Russells you would think would be easy because they're short-haired, but they're very hyper and they're crazy.
They are crazy. My brother's dog greets me
fun.
by untying my shoes every time I come in the door because he don't want to get near my brother.
Yeah.
He goes, and unties the shoe. He drives me. I think Jack Russell should come with little leather vests and chains.
Yes.
They are the toughies of the dog world.
They
and
are.
They're uber active. So Jack Russell's, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see
know,
that.
where you think they're a short-haired little dog, it's going to be an easy little bath, and they're all over you. But they're the sweetest things.
They are.
They don't bite. They're just crazy.
Yeah, they are
crazy fun.
I remember going to visit a friend in East Granby, and she had a hill at her home, and she had her Jack Russell on a lead line. This is years and years ago, and he was running back and forth. She eventually had to put him on Prozac, and you know who you are.
Yeah.
Because
hope you're watching.
Hope you're watching. Yeah. All you saw was the dog would run on the lead line, and the hill was like this, very hilly. You see his head, oof, down. Oof, down. He'd go, and every other hill, all you'd see is his head and his ears, and go crazy because you're coming into the yard. And she's like, I'm not gonna. So she really seriously put her dog on like a Dougie Prozac. That was years ago, and he finally calmed down. But he would actually leap on all fours because they're very springy and active.
Yeah.
He would come up off the ground, boop, boop, and that's all you'd say and hear the whole time you were there. So I can understand that. How do you like the skunk calls? Because that's where you're
headed for you. I know, after I left your house.
The dogs that roll in their own dirt.
Or other people's dirt.
Or other people's dirt, right?
They're the ones I do at the end of the day because it's a lot of cleaning in the van afterwards.
You got to go home and take a hot shower.
A hot shower and clean the van out. And luckily I have help at home that cleans the van out with me because the next day it can't smell like anything in there and it has to be totally disinfected.
Right. What do you use to get rid of? What do you use to get rid of a skunk smell? It's so pungent. I know one animal's you're supposed to use tomato juice and all that stuff.
Tomato juice just turns them red.
Oh, that's it? It doesn't work?
That's pretty much, yeah. Peroxide, baking soda, and Dawn is the best thing that you can use if it's the middle of the night and you don't have your groomer's home phone number like you do.
And I'm not sharing it with anybody. I want her all to myself.
Yeah, you just take peroxide, baking soda, and Dawn, which is all over the internet, and that's the best thing because the baking soda cuts the smell, peroxide activates it, Dawn cuts the grease, which skunk is a grease, is an oil.
Yeah.
So you want to cut that oil. That's the best thing you can use, but you can't get it near their face. I have some great shampoos on the van that you can
do it their whole body. But then what do you do to your van? How do you, same thing, you disinfect your van?
The van, I have some great disinfectants made by the shampoo companies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I never saw one for skunk odor. I mean, I'm dealing with animals a lot. Maybe I never looked, and I've never had dogs that have been skunked.
Yeah.
And a matter of fact, I always wondered if cats were smarter than dogs. When I lived in Windsor, I had a porch, and my cat was an indoor. She was an outside cat. When she came to me, she walked up to me, took her home. She lived 19 years, indoor, outdoor cat. Only stayed on my porch and in my backyard around the pond. So she was coming up on the porch, and I smelt something a little pungent, and I opened the door to let her in, and I realized that under one piece of porch furniture, there was a big skunk. And actually, I was impressed. They did this to each other. Like they kind of circled each other and just looked.
A little dance.
The skunk never sprayed. I'm going, Dusty. Finally, because she wouldn't leave the skunk, they just looked at each other, kept dancing. I closed the door and put a towel. I'm like, Mom, I had put a towel under the door. She never got hit. So, and I have never had a cat, and I don't have outdoor cats anymore because it's too dangerous. Right. I've never had a cat that was hit by a skunk, and I wonder if dogs just chase them, and that's why.
They do. They think they're black and white cats.
Well, that serves them right.
Yeah, it does.
Serves them right.
Yeah, more and more people have indoor cats.
Luckily,
yeah,
because you should keep, especially the coyotes and the bobcats. Another time with a skunk, it was just so funny. This is off subject, but I'm a city girl and born and raised in Philadelphia. And under my back deck, I heard a lot of little squeaks and little chirps, and I'm like, who's chirping? And I went out, and there was 3 little baby skunks playing in the backyard. It was night, and I'm like, isn't that cute? I'm standing there looking, never thinking Mama's got to be somewhere around. So she comes out from under the deck, and I had no idea this is what it meant. She starts stamping her feet. City girl I am. Oh, look, she's chastising her kids to make them stop fighting.
No, you didn't.
No. So you might be coming to shower me down someday.
Oh,
I
no.
learned my lesson. But yeah. It's like, oh, it's cute. The handstand, I'm like, uh-oh. And they got accurate aim. You can't get away from them,
Yes.
uh-oh.
Yep.
So that was not good. But you are in the process of taking, so you do nails, you do shampooing, you do clips and cuts, and some of them will be on this segment. You'll see some of her work.
Yep.
I think you put some of her
befores
work.
and afters.
Yeah,
yep.
Howard will download it, and the befores and afters. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And are you ever on call for other animals other than cats and dogs? Like, I mean, I don't know how much grooming like a rabbit would need.
I do some rabbits.
Birds
some
have to have their nails cut.
I do a few birds. I don't clip wings on birds. That's something I do get calls for, but it's something that I really don't do.
I'd be afraid to do that. I'd be afraid I'd permanently injure them. You know
it's not something I've just been trained in.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but I do some rabbits and do the nails, and a couple of them have gotten matted where they needed to be shaved down. So I've done that. Their skin is really very sensitive, especially cat's skin is very sensitive. It's very tissue paper like, where home grooming, I always warn people, be careful, because if you cut a cat's skin, it opens up like a zipper. It's very sensitive.
Yeah, they are, because where you feel underneath, and I think I told you, I'm trying to get you over there for once I corner this cat, but I got a black and white cat that looks like a checkerboard, because every time he goes by me, I put my hands and I cut, because he's real fuzzy. I cut. So he looks, when you see him, he's going to look like a checkerboard to you. I'm just trying to get that hairballs that are floating all over my house out. Poor thing. He just looks weird. Do rabbits ever have, I mean, I heard a very sad story once about a rabbit who was in a cage and his nails were overgrown, but their teeth too. They have to chew on things. So have you ever had to do anything with rabbits' teeth?
I don't go near their teeth.
Yeah, they're very sharp. I've already been bit by rabbits. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, my sister had been bitten pretty bad.
I think I'm St. Francis with all animals. You know,
I've
been nailed a couple of times.
I do guinea pig nails. Those I do also.
Guinea pigs need their nails done.
Quite a few guinea pigs.
Oh, I didn't know
while
that.
I'm at the house, people say, well, while you're doing, Fido's
cute.
nails, can you do guinea pig nails too?
Cute. They're so cute.
Yeah.
Well, then you really have a well-rounded, but you did say to me that you go to a lot of training sessions every year.
I do.
What are those, after 16 years, like what sessions do you look for after 16 years? Like new techniques or something like that?
Even old techniques. You never too old to learn. Because it was 16 years in a shop and it's been 2 years mobile now. So it's 18 years when you add it all up. It makes me feel old.
Yeah, that's why our trains are running off the track. I know
exactly.
how you feel.
But they have everything that you can imagine now in the training. I've seen it all change, where it's breed specific, so you can go for
the
certain
training
breeds.
is breed specific. You're saying?
Yep. So if you want to learn about Springer Spaniels, you want to learn about Cocker Spaniels, or just a specific breed, you can go and take those classes. You can take dematting classes. You can take classes on certain types of equipment. The newest thing is called creative grooming, where you dye dogs' hair. And
well, it's stuff for kids now. They all purple and blue and
basically the tips of the ears is a big trend. Tips of the tail.
Oh, that's funny.
Painting their nails.
I've seen that.
Rhinestones in the hair.
My gosh, that's so
and I have all that stuff on the van. It's just like a grooming shop. So if anybody wants a little bling added to their dog, we can
I
do
can
it.
see those little Shih Tzus with the bling.
Oh, yes.
They're the ones that look like they could carry the bling.
Yeah, because I have all the bows and bandanas and all that stuff. So I have a lot of fun with it, too. It's not just every day clipping your dog, handing it back. Right. They come back with a little something.
Wait till somebody asks you. And you might have already been asked to do wedding, little dog and...
Oh, I do.
Have you been?
And I find out what the color of the wedding is.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
And I get the bandanas to match.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And we do little lace, and we do... we do.
Well, yes. Your animals are your family, you know.
They are.
People are waiting to get married. They want their animals included. And that's only got to be dogs. I can't imagine a cat cooperating with anything.
Not really.
No, they don't cooperate.
Occasionally a beau, maybe.
Yeah, or else you're marrying him. They got that snotty attitude.
He better like the cat, or else you're not going to be marrying him.
Right. But so it's interesting, as I said, because I never knew about mobile grooming, and I'm trying to think, I might have Googled something like that to find you. I know you have a Facebook page and you have a website. You have 2 phone numbers. One is in, and you are taking new clients in specific areas, and you are taking new clients with smaller dogs.
Right.
Cats aren't an issue, or rabbits or whatever, but the dogs, the bigger dogs, you're not going to be able to. But again, you can refer. So you're saying you're still willing to take new clients.
Absolutely.
And you work, 5-6 days a week? Probably.
6 days a week.
6 days a week. I remember talking about that. That's a lot of work. And you do go to their home, and you post your rates. Do you post your rates? We can't talk about rates here, but you post your rates on the website. Do you prefer to be contacted by email or by phone or through the website?
Usually text messaging is the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Just because if I'm on the road, if I have an animal on my table, I don't answer the phone.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But
yeah.
I can send back a quick text in between, answering phone calls and returning in between. A lot of times I won't catch you if you're at work or you're busy doing something, or if we get into this long conversation, it's kind of hard in between my calls. But I can answer a quick text and then call you back in the evening.
Okay. You are really responsive. You know, I've called you a couple. No, you really are responsive. You're more. I'm afraid to say this. You're more responsive than my vet, actually.
Oh,
seriously.
Well, they're like doctors.
I know, but they got staff.
Oh, they are doctors, actually.
Yeah, they are doctors, and they have staff. But
Yeah.
I've had better callback from you than I have from my vet. I'm not going to say who my vet is.
Yeah.
So where could somebody get a hold of you if they wanted to get a hold of you by phone or by email, text message, however you want?
By phone. The number is 860-888-2507, and that's where they can also text me.
Okay.
And it can go on the website or on Facebook is the best way to contact me and send me a Facebook
And that's
message.
under Diamonds in the Scruff. Diamonds, plural, in the Scruff.
Right.
On Facebook. And as I said, she does answer pretty much so quickly.
Really, I don't do email much.
No.
I would stay away from the email.
That's just one more thing to have to do.
Yeah,
it's like, I know.
Facebook messages I do respond to quickly, and the text messages. Phone calls within 24 hours I will get back to you.
Does. So I highly recommend MaryAnn. I've used her services myself. I've used her services in an emergency, and she was there. Yeah. So she does have space for clientele. You will be very happy. Take a look at the end of the program for all the before and after pictures. And I've got something else to talk about, but I want you to stay there for a minute. And
sure.
As we said last month, I did a public service announcement for the Connecticut Cat Connection. We are having on June 17th a Putting on the Dog for Cats, and it's in Northwest Park from 11:30 to 3:30. We're going to have Bart's there. We're going to have a vegan restaurant come from Massachusetts with fabulous food. We're going to have a dog and person ice cream truck, and we're going to have Tina's Cupcakes coming. There'll be about 28 vendors selling everything under the sun. And Petco is going to have a booth. The SPCA in Newington's going to have a booth there. Protectors of Animals in East Hartford will have a booth. Flying Fur will have a booth there. And of course, they'll all be talking about other animals you can adopt, adoptable dogs and cats. It is going to be fun. There's going to be a coloring corner for children, a balloon maker. There's going to be grab bags for kids. There will be Windsor Fife and Drum Corps, 2 dog trainers at different ends of the day. There will be a dance troupe, and there will be a pet psychic. So it's going to be a fun day. Come and bring the family. All we ask as a donation is a can of cat or dog food for all the shelters that will be there that we will be splitting the food with. There are many shelters in the area, and we're all begging for the same dollar or food or blanket, and we really need the help. So we hope that you tell everyone about it and that you show up on June 17th. I'll be in a cat suit, a black and white tuxedo cat suit. So I'm praying for sun, even if it's too hot. I'll be the goof standing there waving to you in a cat suit. And I gotta say, MaryAnn, I appreciate so much. MaryAnn's donated a gift certificate for a raffle for the mobile grooming. You might win that, meet her in person. And we so appreciate your support. I appreciate your rapidity in coming. And I appreciate everything you do because, working with animals, the easier you make it on people who have animals or who want to own animals, the more people I think will adopt or take that into consideration, that they don't have to drag a dog to a vet or a cat to a vet every time something like this needs to happen. And we appreciate your services. You got the war wounds to show it.
Yeah.
War wounds to show for it. I hope I
That's
don't see any more on you.
No, that's fine.
Well,
I wear them proudly.
Yeah, well, I looked at your arms for like, oh, holy moly, lady. I got a couple, but you really, you could really scratch it up there. So I appreciate you coming, and please do get a hold of MaryAnn through the Facebook, no, that's not your Facebook.
No.
It's Diamonds in the Scruff is the Facebook. And there are 2 phone numbers listed there. And again, she takes text messages. She is a rapid responder. You'll be very pleased with the service. And I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad we met. I really am.
I am too.
It's been